Dexia Barros in Rosary Goodwin.
The Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Ryan Ansem, Director of Agriculture, Mr. Kian Stevenson, staff of the Ministry of Agriculture and staff of Dexia, the Care Homes, our farmers and fishers, members of the media and those listening online. Good morning, season's greetings from the Ministry of Agriculture, and a very warm one needy and the less fortunate and those who are taking care of our elderly citizens, some produce and some excitement and cheer to their establishments. This is more than a ceremony as it continues to show that farmers and fishers and producers are keen on what is happening and are keen in assisting and collaborating with the Ministry of Agriculture, and we see it as a very healthy partnership as we wind down the year. I will now call on the PS of Agriculture to deliver some brief remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I first want to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister, Honorable Roland Roy, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the Director of Agriculture, Mr. Kian Stevenson, our Chief Vet, Bristol Operation Manager. I want to specially welcome our institution. Today is really a demonstration of the Ministry of Agriculture hard work in developing an agriculture, sustainable and resilient agriculture. More so, we want to thank the farmers, we want to thank the propagators at the agricultural station. It is really a manifestation of the agriculture work over the years in guaranteeing food and nutrition security. And I want to pause on the nutrition. Today, as you can see, we are providing the institutions with what we call a food basket, the Minister Food Basket. And I want to thank the Minister. This is an initiative, as the chairperson said, for 4 decades we have been doing that. And Minister Roy has augmented the support and the contribution that we give to the institution. It's important that you acknowledge the work that the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is doing to guarantee the nation food and nutrition security. And so our role is to provide and to work with the farmers, that the farmers can provide a healthy diet, not only to the vulnerable persons among us, but for the entire population. And so I want to leave with you that we are working to make food affordable, available, and accessible to everyone. And so this food basket, the Minister Food Basket, is really a demonstration of the hard work of the farmers and our agricultural station workers. So we want to thank you, and we want to tell you that the ministry will continue to put programs and activities in place to develop an agriculture sector that is sustainable and that can provide for its population. So, as we always say, you have to eat local so we can continue the process. So, in closing, I want to leave this message that we have to support our farmers by buying local. And I don't want to take from the minister's speech, but I want to say that in a few weeks or even months, we'll have a brand new abattoir, a chicken abattoir that is going to be reopened. And so we are telling you to eat local, support the farmers, and there are also other initiatives that the ministry will be discussing and bringing to you in the early. So as the Permanent Secretary and the Director of Agriculture, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a productive 2026, and as we work together to nourish our people with a healthy diet. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. PS, Mr. Ryan Ansem, for those remarks. And of course, we are heartened to know that the ministry, when we say the plant propagation and the various stations, are also contributing to the food basket. So that is a plus for us. We are now privileged to have the Minister of Agriculture, as the PS said. He has also raised the ante, and in terms of His presence here really underscores the ministry and the government's commitment and dedication to ensuring that food sustainability trickles down to the needy, to the vulnerable, and the various groups. So I now call on the minister to deliver his brief remarks.
To understand, I don't like speaking to people. I'm sitting, I think I was brought up properly in the countryside. I think is a manner of respect when you're addressing the persons older than you. That you have to show some level of respect. But let me acknowledge my PS, I'm Ryan Anselm. Petra, of course, hardworking Petra girl, our director, our chief vet, members of the ministry, and of course, importantly, our institutions represented here today. So today we are delivering food basket, which we do every year, as was said before. That's an initiative that started over 40 years ago, and the ministry continues to do that. So we must, of course, recognize and acknowledge the persons who initiated that kind of gesture. So today we are providing food baskets to the Dominican Infirmary, Chances, the Maho Senior Citizens Home, Each One Teach One, Operations Youth Quick, the Grotto Home, St. Jerome's Ministry, RF Home Care, I hope I have the name correct, Divine Victory Elder Care, Agape, Dominican China Friendship Hospital, House of Hope, and later on today we'll be moving to Portsmouth, where we'll do the Portsmouth Hospital, the New Age Resident Care, and the Regional Armor Hospital. Yeah, that's it, in Portsmouth. So we'll be doing 15 institutions today where we provide fresh produce to the institutions for the benefit of the persons who reside there, or the inmates, or the patients. We think that's a very important initiative, not just sharing love or Christmas share, but as PS rightly said, contributing to the nutrition of the persons that live there. Sometimes we take it for granted that in Dominica food is in abundance, yes, but we still have persons who are challenged in really getting the proper nutrition on time. So we make it our point of duty every year to provide that to the homes. But today I want to specifically recognize the farmers who have been contributing every year. And the head of extension or the director of agriculture will tell you, sometimes we get from the same farmers every year. They make it a point of duty to drop off even without calling them. So Petra, I'm hoping that sometime tomorrow you'll get a list of farmers that have been contributing consistently and do a nice post on your Facebook page recognizing our farmers for the continuous contribution to that. Because indeed, what they're doing, they're giving us from the profits. That's the profit, and we're very, very grateful for that, because we couldn't harvest all this stuff from our agricultural stations. So I'm specifically recognize them. Having said that though, the ministry over the years have been really, really focusing on increasing production. And we can see it from the level of contribution that we are receiving every year. We have a lot of initiative. I won't go in detail because today is not the forum for that. But for the past year, you've been hearing us on the media very often. Maybe every other week, we have some sort of function, either groundbreaking, either we giving out stuff to farmers, or some workshop or something. We've been very, very busy. And I want to pause again to recognize the staff of the ministry who've been doing a tremendous job, because without them, we wouldn't have the farmers. Without the farmers, we wouldn't have the produce. So it's a collective effort that brought today to reality. So, as I was saying, we continue to put resources directly to the farmers' hands on the farm so we can expand production. You will have heard us articulating for the past 2 years that by 2030, we want to increase the contribution of agriculture to 700 million to GDP by 2030. That is a very ambitious target, but I just want to say that we are well on our way, based on figures and based on the evidence in the marketplace and the increase in export trade. We are realizing that target. And there's a few things that we're working on to really get the figures correct, because we are trying to improve on our data collection. What we have observed, we are really under-reporting what has been exported. And I'll break it down simple so you can understand. For example, Bristol and the pack house will do it correctly. When he have a 45-pound box, he packs 45 because his clientele is a different market. But our hucksters that move from Roseau and Portsmouth, they have a 45 or 55-pound box, but they pack 70, 80, 90 pounds of produce in that box. So they can save on cost because the cost of the packing material is kind of expensive. But the Articuda system at Customs, it only records what the box was designed to take. So on record, they would see 55 pounds of plantains or bananas left, but indeed the box had 80 pounds in it. So we are shortchanging our export data. So we are very confident that if we correct that, we may even surpass the 700 million by 2030, coupled with the level of investment that we are making on the farm. Just post-Hurricane Maria, we've invested almost $200 million directly into the farmers' hands, buying inputs to include fertilizers, planting material, equipment and tools. And we've seen the results directly on the farm because we are seeing the expansion. There's evidence. We've seen it in the harvest, and we're seeing an increase in exports that we are recording. So we're not only doing this time of gas in Dominica. I just want to report that DEXA shipped a container of fresh produce to St. Martin directly to the Ministry of Health. About a month ago, the minister was in Dominica for function, and he said that this year he's not going to give his clients ham and turkey. He wants to give fresh produce from Dominica. And DEXA was able to ship that last week. He received it, I think, Bristol, and he's very happy with the content of that. And I'm very happy for that initiative because over the years, we have lost our footprint in the St. Martin market space since Hurricane Maria. So we saw countries like Dominican Republic, St. Vincent really taking the market share. And with that initiative, I think we can stamp our authority, and I think it's going to be a monthly or quarterly request from St. Martin so we can make inroads. What I'm urging the Ministry of Trade to do, and we have discussion, to have something like a regional depot there, so DEXA can send directly to that depot and on sell or resell to the hucksters that are in St. Martin, so we can regain that market share. It was very lucrative. We've lost it, but I'm happy that we're back in the St. Martin market space. Okay? So I just want to again thank you all for coming. We will continue to do that every year once a minister, and any other minister will do that as well. And we'll try our best to augment it. I think next year we'll try to see how we can include some more processed agro products in it, like the processed tolomas and the farines and the cassava bread and the other stuff, the jams, the jellies, the juices. So not only display our fresh produce, but we can display our agro processed produce as well. So that's something Petra take note for next year. We can add to the basket to make it a little more colorful and present in a better way what the ministry is doing, because we give support to the processors as well. Just a few weeks ago, we supported our small processors with over $3.5 million of grants and equipment and supplies in an effort to enhance their operations and to improve the food safety issues that we'll have in the species. And these monies are not World Bank money, as persons normally said. That's a loan that the government took from the World Bank, which we have to repay in 10 years' time at an interest rate. But that just shows the level of concentration that the ministry and the government is placing on our farmers and our processors by even going to take a loan to give for free and to ensure that our processors do it the right way. So that we're investing in them, so I'm hoping that they can support us by providing us with some products next year to augment what we're doing. So once again, thank you for coming, and we are very happy every year to provide you all with this food basket, and will continue to do so. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the Honorable Minister for those remarks, and we just want to say that in terms of the baskets, I mean, those of you who are present are seeing they're very beautiful in terms of the fresh leafy vegetables and some of our root crops, the staples, and we know persons will be very grateful and happy when that is cooked and prepared for them over the holidays. We now call on Mr. Jajak from Dominica Prison Services to give us some remarks in Operation Youth Quick, formally, Operation Youth Quick, sorry about that, and just to share some sentiments in terms of the allocation of the provisions to the young men there. Yes, just yes.
Or if you understand.
If you understand.
Okay, good day, and let me just recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister and PS Ansem and the Chairperson and Mr. Stevenson and all the persons who are responsible for making these donations possible. We, on behalf of all the institutions that are about to receive those packages, we want to say a hearty thank you, and we know that these gifts will go a long way in whatever we do over the holiday. We hope that that when whatever is prepared, that our residents in the various institutions, and like the minister said, we want to do something nutritious for them, and that is very important. All the time we can just go to the store and buy some rice or buy some macaroni, but if we have fresh produce, which is healthier for them, is going to go a long way in allowing them to enjoy and have some Christmas cheer. So on behalf of all the institutions, I want to say thank you to the Ministry of Agriculture, thank you to Dexia, thank you to all the persons who are responsible for having this fruit, this basket given to us, and we assure you that our residents will be well taken care of this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This phone. Just give him this phone. All right, thank you. So we did that in this way so that now we're going to have the symbolic handing over. So the minister will present a symbolic gesture. As you can see, if you're on the live stream, it's an entire van load of produce, but I know just for the photo opportunity, we will be doing it in that manner. So minister, you just hand over. You'll help him out. Yes. You'll assist him. Just take one of the baskets. Yes, in front. Yes, that is correct. So I will just call on the institution and you'll come forward. No, it's just symbolic. A gesture, the lighter one though. I open the big light. Okay, so we now call on, yes, Dominica Infirmary. Just look at the cameras. Yes. Thank you very much. We have a representative from Chances here, Miss McIntyre. Well, good. We have Mr. Etienne from the Maho Senior Citizens Home. And for those of you online viewing, you can look out for our Facebook page. You can see the beautiful pictures. Love One Teach One, Miss Walsh from Bath Estate. Mr. Jajak again, Operation Youth Quick in Louisville. Yes. Okay, James. Grotto Home, located in Stock Farm. Divine Victory Elderly Care in Goodwill. Dominica Infirmary. I did that already, so we go to Grand Bay now. St. Jerome's, St. Jerome's Ministry in Grand Bay, represented by her granddaughter. Yes. And I think we missed anyone present. Yes. House of Hope. Yes. In Dalis. Yes. I don't see anybody there. No. I just said House of Hope in Dalis. Thank you very much. And she was the first one here. We do have a number of other institutions, like the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, and we, as the minister mentioned, we have some persons in Portsmouth, some the Respite Center, etc. So we'll be moving towards the north in a bit. I now call on Mr. Etienne once again to just give us some remarks in terms of how the contribution has assisted the organization over the years, and a little bit more about your home, and then I'll call on Miss Walsh also. Thank you. Yes. If you want to stand or sit. I think we are the Minister of Safety in the church.
Good morning, Mrs. Shillingford. Thank you. Honorable Minister, PS and SEM, fellow recipients of various charitable organizations. I want on behalf of the management, staff and residents of the Mahu Senior Citizens to extend gratitude to the Ministry of Agriculture for once again remembering us at this time with some vital agricultural produce to feed our residents. It's something that happens on an annual basis, and we always welcome the gesture. It allows us, it enables us to provide them with very nutritious meals during this festive season. The Senior Citizens Home was established back in 1981 to provide a place of shelter for residents of Mahu who, after Hurricane David, had been living on the tents on the school grounds. And Mr. Philip Nassif, the proprietor of DCP at the time, because almost 80% of his workers were from Mahu. Some of those very people were former workers of DCP, and his heart was moved to provide a place of shelter for those persons. And at the moment, we have 6 residents with us. We have provision to accommodate as many as 15. We provide daycare services for persons who may want to leave their loved ones there for a day, or people who want to go overseas for a few weeks. They can leave them there for a short-term stay. But at the moment, we have 6 full-time residents. So we want to thank you for recognizing us and encourage you to continue to keep up the good work, to share from your bounty to feed those who are in need. Thank you very much, and I wish everybody the best for the Christmas season and the very best for 2026 and beyond. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. I would like to thank the Minister and the PS and everyone who made this presentation possible. Well, over the years, the Love One Teach One Foundation have been catering for vulnerable youth, children and youth, especially in the Silver Lake area. And everybody knows the story every time coming out of Silver Lake. And even as this afternoon, we will be burying one of our young people. He was a former youth member who got murdered in Silver Lake. So it's a trying time, I can tell somebody, for me, because it's been, over the years, it's like for the past 3 years, I have been, it's have been a repetitive process every time like that. But what we saw some time ago, some years ago, we saw the need for the children in terms of etiquette. So what we did, a former Peace Corps representative, we got into that vibes like, having a Christmas etiquette dinner where we're teaching the children, how to use the table manners. And what we are doing, we adapt after the training. So we having a big climax, we having a Christmas etiquette dinner where the children will come well-dressed, and the table set, and they would be, using their knife, their fork, how to use the table, and even in terms of conversations. So what we usually do, we usually get like mentors from the community to come on each table, to have conversation with them. And I would really like to thank the ministry, because I must say the food, it has been great for us, because sometimes everything is like mac and cheese and those kind of a processed food. But what we really do with the food, some of them doesn't eat yams and certain food, so then we would say a yam pie, and you would see the children enjoying that. So once again, thank you, and I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you to all our institutions and the testimonies they've given. Thank you to the Minister and the PS, and of course, thank you to our hardworking staff within the propagation unit. They've been working over the last 3 days, I believe, to receive the items, get them washed, get them cleaned and sorted and graded, and to at least allocate them. So right now, we will, just for those on the live stream, we will just look at, take a tour, basically show the produce and show what the bountiful harvest from our farmers, and what the institutions are receiving. So once again, that's where we end the discussion. We move on to Portsmouth, as I said, in the north, so you can tune in for that. And once again, thank you very much. Have a good day. Yes. No good. Yeah, we're on the tour now,
YouTube page, on TV, on Facebook, you are getting an opportunity to play. So Petro, here we are. To them, a lot of kudos to the Ministry of Agriculture. If you were to give a prize to the ministry, any of the ministries, it would have been the Ministry of Agriculture, followed by Housing. So people have their own way after listening and watching how things have been done. What they
Yes. No, these are given from the hard-working farmers, the harvest of the farmers. And over the years, the farmers have been supporting this initiative. As was said before, this is an initiative that has been going on every Christmas for over 4 decades. And what is important to note is that we have a target as we move forward. I just want to mention that we are on our way to the $700 million contribution to agriculture in 2030, but what is more important is that we have a target also to meet the 5 food groups, which when we talk about the carbohydrates, the protein, and so we are all on our way to meet some of these food groups. We can boast of meeting the starch in terms of carbohydrates. As you can see, the root crops that we have, we are self-sufficient in root crops. We do not import any of our root crops, and so that is a very good way that we are doing. So it's also important to note this is a food basket. So it provides protein, provides the vitamins, and all the necessary dietary needs for vulnerable people. And we are very thankful that during this Christmas season that we can provide a healthy, balanced diet to not only the most vulnerable, but Dominica. And we want to tell people to continue to support the farmers, continue to eat local, and to add value to our primary production. because you know some of our children don't like some of the fresh produce, and so what we have to do to add value to it and to improve on the recipes that we do. Why can't we do dashing flour as we're doing cassava flour? Why can't we do the jams and the jelly and our fruits? And so we're very, yes, and chips, the plantain chips and all these things there. So that is the emphasis that we're going to put to add value to our produce. And so we are very happy that we have a champion minister, the Minister Roy, that is at the helm and is putting some of the policies and the staff of the Ministry of Agriculture, the director and all the technical officers. Yes. Well, we're going to do a repackaging. As you can see, all the root crops are on one side for display, for basically demonstration purposes. And so what we're going to do, each institution, approximately 12 institutions in the Roseau catchment area, stretching from Mao to Silver Lake, we will repackage these materials. Sorrel, eggplant, the fruits, the ginger. So each institution will get a package. And we're very happy that we can do that every year. Part of it also, the minister has indicated that he wants to do it out of Christmas. Monthly will be very ambitious, but it's something that the minister has said that on a regular basis he wants to provide some support. We've done it with the grotto and the infirmary, but we want to advance it and augment it to other institutions. It's not only during Christmas time, but to provide this kind of support for our elderly. Because our elderly, they are the ones that develop Dominica, and we have a role to play as young people and citizens to provide them with a nutritious meal. So we're very happy to be part of the minister's food basket to ensure that our vulnerable institutions and patients at this institution will have a nutritious meal for Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Yes, morning. I'm all right. Compliments of the season to you as well. Okay, no. Well, as you see, we have about 15 recipients here, and so this was just a gesture, but we have our government pickups right there, and as you see, this one is heading to Portsmouth, but the others will just get the packages. Everybody is allocated based on the amount of occupants they have, right? So based on their occupancy, we got an idea of how many occupants each home has, and we tailor-made the baskets just to suit. So everybody will be getting a bountiful harvest this time, and a variety of healthy local produce, right? We're not seeing here on the display, but also included from decks here, we're also getting some fresh tuna, some tuna fish as well, to put into the protein aspect. And as we say, we want it local, and we want it balanced, and we want it nutritious. So because it has to be frozen, we know the fish is on ice and so, but they will be delivered. So in the course of today, everything here will be delivered to the houses. The persons are already accustomed to this. Some of the beneficiaries have already reached out to us and confirmed that of our delivery today. Yes.
The minister said something very interesting, and by listening to people, I got a few messages. It excited some of the hucksters and the farmers regarding St. Martin, and hopefully to have a depot in St. Martin. So we're going to get back on our feet.
Always.
Before Hurricane Maria, we were doing very well in that area.
The ministry.
Your take on this?
Yes, the Ministry of Agriculture and Dexia, Trade has always have been collaborating for a while now. Agriculture and Trade have gone on a couple of missions, not only in St. Martin but to the other northern islands, St. Kitts, Antigua, and many of the islands that we do ship to. St. Martin is one of them. Even recently, during our Caribbean Week of Agriculture in St. Kitts, we met with persons from St. Martin, the High Commissions from St. Martin, and initiated discussions in those ways. So yes, it is work in progress, and it would be a great incentive for our farmers and for our hucksters to regain those market shares. Yes, so yes, this is work in progress, and this is things that we're looking for within the new year 2026.
And it means we will achieve our goal in 2030.
Of course. As the minister did say, a lot of it is an ambitious goal, but when we take proper accounting of not just what we export, but also what we produce locally and what we consume locally, we grow a lot, and what we do in terms of agro-processing. You heard the minister talk about next year having some of our agro-processed goods here for the needy as well. Not only that it will afford variety, but also it will have what we forget about agro-processing in extending shelf life. So when you talk about having foods available to persons throughout for the Christmas season and in the New Year, sometimes the fresh produce, if it's not used right away, it may spoil and whatnot. We have to consume it within a certain time. But when we have our agro-processed goods, we could have that there for a longer time. So instead, as we mentioned, instead of the macaronis and whatnot, we can have locally agro-processed goods. So we can have our toloma, we can have our farin, we can have our cassava, we can have our jams and jellies, and a whole heap of nourishing products.
And we are actually protecting ourselves in the same vein, because of all what we see happening, worldwide, wars and conflicts, etc. We are protecting ourselves and our people, our nation.
Yes, because it's not only about food security, but what we also say, food sovereignty.
That's right.
Growing what we eat and being able to sustain ourselves in case of a storm, in case of an epidemic or war. We saw COVID when we got locked down, wars right now. So being able to sustain ourselves as a people. They talk about Guyana being the first country to be food secure. But I believe even if we haven't got the data to prove it, but I believe Dominica is very much food secure. If a hurricane strikes today, God forbid, we saw it during Hurricane Maria.
Exactly.
We are very resilient people. We can survive. We will bounce back. And the type of crops we're growing right now, the root crops and the different crops that are prone, resistant to more resilient, I should say. And so we're not forgetting our livestock sector. Right. So we grow our ruminants, and we look at our local feeds. We're looking at our own hatchery right now to do our chicks. Right. We're looking at our abattoir that the minister mentioned to do our chicks and our pigs. Yeah. So protein, our fisheries industry. We're looking at, in the fisheries industry, we even talk about the prawns, the local prawns and the tilapia. So everything to reduce our importation bill. White potatoes, just before you go, just to promote our white potatoes. Right now is white potato season. We're urging farmers, backyard gardeners, schools, and everyone to come out, grow white potatoes within the Ministry of Agriculture. We're giving you a package right now that if you grow more than an acre, half an acre, 15 bags or more, we'll give you this free of charge. We give you the inputs, and we give you the fertilizer, everything, the technical advice to grow the potatoes right now. So if anybody is hearing this right now, interested in white potatoes, now is the time to jump on board. All right?
Thank you very much.
Bless.
Wish you the best for the season. Thank you very much, and that's how we wrap it up. On behalf of my technician, Steve, taking it back to Master Control. Thanks for watching.